you wanna be like, hey everybody, hi everybody, it is Wally. It is the star of the show.
The real reason we're all here.
We're all here, okay? We're all here. We're all starting early. I've been live for already 4 hours and 43 minutes, and we're gonna start
How
like.
was your last day of work?
Well, I've been sick the past 2 days, right? So I didn't work. Like I've been
Oh,
like physically nauseated, just like sore and achy and just tiresome. Like it's like everybody got sick at work, and I got it at the tail end, and I was like, fuck this. I am not working my 2 last days sick and dealing with assholes. So I called off both days. Got Today was vacation day because I got my vacation, and now I'm using my vacation as final pay from them. Uh, but yeah, like been sick the past 2 days. I'm still like a fever and trying to break it before Monday. So yeah, I don't
yeah.
want to.
Have you tested for COVID?
No, I did not. I don't think it's COVID. I think it's just whatever they had, which was like a cold and stuff, and it just people like
I
this
was
one guy that
feeling
I was
like
working
when I
with.
woke up, my throat was sore, my nose was really running. I tested it; it was negative, so I was like, all right.
Well, like the guy I work with, he's not vaccinated because he's a complete douchebag tool, you know. So yeah. So let me tweet out that we're live doing the podcast real quick so we can start uh so people can figure that we're live again still. Danya, please, I love you in the background with the watching and stuff. Let's go.
I'm always trying to get my
Wow.
camera right.
What?
I'm always trying to get this camera right.
Yeah, let me see if.
So then I lean back, and then there's just like too much background. I gotta adjust it again.
Yeah.
A little more.
Mm.
There we go. I think that works.
I had a tough decision to make with the movie.
I come up with
For
something.
Yeah, so I think I made my decision after rewatching this movie last night. And after today's talk with my eye doctor, since I had to go, my nose piece fell off. These glasses that I'm wearing, but
Oh no.
uh,
So that's comfortable.
yeah. That's 2 days of work I had. Well, one day of work I had to wear them like that, and then I took the last 2 days off because I just felt like shit and not like fatigued and just like I said, like sick enough to do this, but not sick enough to work. Being able to be home and not dealing with people and all that is great. So all
Yeah.
right, so I tweeted out. We should get some people in here, hopefully. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I know you've been watching me play video games for the last 4 hours, but we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Twitch, recorded on YouTube, and coming to your theaters around the world. Nah, I'm just kidding. I wish. I wish. Uh, we are live for this week's episode of Tight Spots Lounge called Does the Empire Really Strike Back? The True Feelings of Star Wars, presented by Tight Spot and Nakattack. I don't know. I just made that up on the fly. So we are live, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys all doing? Nakattack, what's going on, my friend? 2 weeks of waiting to review this movie. 2 weeks have come and gone. We are here to talk about Empire Strikes Back. But how was your week, Nakattack? How was your 2 weeks? What is going on in your life? Anything interesting?
Plenty of ups and downs for sure. I mean, I was telling you offline, a very good friend of mine passed away last week. That was pretty rough. Very unexpected. Like I was telling you, I've lived through the deaths of pets, of close family members. It never crossed my mind that someone my age, who's a very good friend, would pass away. So that was rough. Our movie was very bittersweet because Empire Strikes Back was one of Eric's favorite movies too. So it was, yeah, it was a little rough watching it, but it was very good too. Kind of a memorial to my buddy.
My condolences to Eric Little's family in this time. And before we go any further, let's have a uh, brief moment of silence for Eric Little, who passed away uh, unexpectedly at 30. What age? 37, 30, 30.
I think he was 30. He was like 2 years younger than me. He was 37 or 36.
Okay, yeah. So unexpectedly 36, 37, and let's just have a brief moment of silence for him. This one's for you, Eric. All right, all right. So, yeah, definitely. When you texted me that, you first texted me something about a video game, and then all of a sudden you're like, I just received word that Eric Little has passed away. I was like, whoa. Like, I haven't heard that name in a while, and surprised that he passed away. So, like I said, my condolences to his family, his son, and everybody involved, and everyone whoever was touched by him in a special way like that. So, um, condolences to him and his family on the death of himself. There, I like, but yeah. Um, so let's see. Yeah, that's just hard hitting, man. Like it hits, like it. I realized like him and I weren't really close, but he was like more so close to you and a couple other people I knew. But like I didn't know where he was. I didn't know he moved out to Utah or any of that. I didn't know where he was until I read the GoFundMe, which there's a GoFundMe if you want to donate to his family and his son. Since I don't know the whole other half of the story where anyone else is in his family, but yes, condolences. Just if you guys want to help, the link is on Nakattack's GoFundMe, not Twitter. Twitter. GoFundMe is on his Twitter. So Nakattack,
I didn't start it. His family is in charge of that, so I'm just providing a link. That's all I did.
yeah. So there you go. Go to his Twitter, twitter.com/Nakattack, and you'll find it there. So let's go. Let's move forward. Let's after that brief somber moment there. Uh, let's talk
You get my
about
blog link to my blog up there too.
yeah, yeah.
I started making my newest post, but I didn't get it finished up. I just got to add pictures to it, and then I'll post that. It's we watched this crazy movie this past week called The Witch Part One: The Subversion. It's a Korean horror coming of age family drama superhero movie. It's very weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned that to me, and I was like, okay, what is going on here? And like you're like, this movie doesn't have this in it or that in it. It's like what? Like I don't
Yeah,
know. It
and
seems
there's no
like
witches in it, despite the title.
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, no witches. Like why would a movie have that title and not be
Well, there
having witches
the
in it?
minor spoiler: the witch is like a code name for our protagonist. So
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. Um, but overall, I did not get to watch that movie. Where and that was on Shutter. You said Shutter.
yeah, it's on Hoopla too. Hoopla has like a weird thing where
Oh,
they'll put some Shutter movies up on their stuff, so you
okay,
can watch that on Hoopla if you're really interested.
okay. I may have to when I get some time. In the near future here. So yeah, that's cool. Me on the other hand, I haven't been really watching anything. Briefly, my wife has been on a Sopranos kick and also reliving The Walking Dead a little bit. So I've been out here when I'm hanging out with her, watching her stuff. Uh, I
I'm willing
watched
to
our
bet
movie.
The Sopranos still holds up very well.
I mean, I never really watched because I didn't have HBO back then when they were really big, and never really saw a reason to watch something like that. But it's an interesting story. You know, it's definitely,
Sopranos was basically the kickstart of modern golden age TV.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, but yeah, so other than that, I mean, went to the eye doctors, have new glasses ordered. Um, Gearing up for WWE 2K23 next week on Tuesday when it comes out. So that should be fun. Nakattack will be in TSCW some way, some form as a character. So we'll see what happens there. Um, but yeah, I mean, honestly, life rolls on. Danya's getting better here and there. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're working on it. We're doing a lot more uh, on this podcast, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're trying to work towards a bigger picture of things here. Why am I moving? I don't know why I'm doing that. My fault.
We were chatting about making the show more visually appealing in
Yeah,
several
we're gonna
ways.
put
It'll
more
be a work in
visuals on here.
progress, so work in process rather.
Yeah, work in progress. I've been trying to think of ideas. I know like the movie trailer thing that we talked about would work as well. We could put the movie trailer in between us. Um, Pictures like of like droids. Like if we put like little. You know what I should have done was like a little Millennium Falcon landing on the bar or something. I could have done that, but I didn't. I did not put any pictures up in my meantime. Let's see what else. What else? Uh, but yeah, just the podcast hours may change as well, guys. We're working on that. Due to the new job, might be something different hour wise, but we'll talk about that in the near future once I see how this week goes coming up. Uh, yeah, let's see what else. Let's get to the movie. Let's get delving into this movie because this movie is a cinematic legacy that definitely a lot of people enjoy. A lot of people are Star Wars aholics, um, and super fans, and that's why they made a movie called Fanboys, um, loosely
Which is
based on
okay. That
huh?
movie's okay. That
Yeah,
movie's okay.
it's funny though. It's funny.
It
It's a
has its
funny
moments,
movie.
but it needed the script needed another revision, I think.
Yeah, but you know, so yeah, we we chose this movie. Nakattack chose it because it's his favorite movie all the time for his birthday, and it's been out for years. I probably saw this when I was way younger, and I didn't remember the movie because I don't know. I don't really go back and watch these old movies a lot because I just don't. Uh, but
That's why every March even since before we were doing the Twitch, we like to pick like some of our favorites of all time to review because we each have a birthday in March, so it's a little treat to ourselves to go back and watch something that's truly awesome that we might not always get to watch because of life and stuff. So that's just the reason why we picked something old and great.
it is great. It definitely holds up, in my opinion, to a movie to because it set a lot of standards for visuals and landscapes of movies and how they like build these own worlds and have the sets and the like Yoda. I mean, honestly, Yoda was Yoda was a fun part of this movie. I thought like Yoda's not annoying as much as people say Jar Jar Binks was annoying in Episode 1. All right,
Well, that's
like
because Yoda is an
Yoda.
actual character. Jar Jar Binks is a clown.
Love it, Nag Attack. Love it. You're just like, boom. Jar Jar Binks is a clown. Go ahead. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's just like starting with the special editions that came out in the mid '90s. Like something got up George Lucas's ass where he wanted to like just kind of kidify Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars was always generally more towards the younger audience, but he really wanted to like make it for babies. I mean, that's sort of why you had Han, like not shooting first in Episode 4, and why you got to see like all this extra like
Hold
crap
on.
everywhere just to wow the children. And
Hold on. We just got rated. We just got rated during the podcast by our boy Alabama Wins. Alabama, thank you. I don't have the alerts up here. I apologize.
Alabama college football always wins.
Yeah, there you go. Can we get the alert up here? Did it work? No, it's not working because this is fucking stupid.
Here, and before I get too far in, I wanted to shout out this awesome book. If you need to grab a copy, I highly recommend it. Like even if you're not a Star Wars fan, but it's how big it is. It just goes into the making of the movie and it covers everything. You got these awesome behind the scenes, these very rare photos, like these sketches. I mean, this book, even the beginning of this book, even starts out with like the day after Star Wars premiered, the original, and they're like, "We need a sequel." Like this thing's a hit. So it's a very interesting book. A lot of cool behind the scenes stuff about the making of the film. Like even if you're just, like I said, if you don't even like Star Wars and you just love how films are made, I highly recommend the book by Jay Rinsler. He also did one for Return of the Jedi and Star Wars, and I believe Indiana Jones. They're just very in depth. So highly recommend those.
Yeah, sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Nakattack, but we got a raid, and I was like, oh, we're live doing our podcast. We got raided. Hell yeah! Thank you, Alabama, for bringing your people over. But we're talking about Empire Strikes Back. It is our birthday month, so his birthday is on the 19th. My birthday is on the 27th. So we are choosing movies to watch that we enjoy growing up, and his was Empire Strikes Back. Mine has not been announced yet, but it will be worth your while to hopefully see at the end of the show what it is. And it's only up here. I'm the only person that knows. Well, my wife knows because we made the decision last night. But let's get back to Empire Strikes Back because so why do you think George? I mean, honestly, George Lucas did want to get a fight because look at who owns the rights now. Disney. Disney owns the rights to Star Wars and the Marvel Universe, which is pretty nuts. And like we would say in business sense, it is a monopoly somewhat. But
well, we'll see how long that lasts because they've been just bleeding money big time.
Yeah,
like, Disney Plus is a huge failure for them, and Ant-Man just flopped. So like there's been rumors that they might sell Star Wars. Who knows?
I mean, the whole like I had this conversation briefly with a friend earlier tonight, but I want to say Hollywood has been messed up for years, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely been where Hollywood has so much stuff up their ass. They just want to do remake after remake or continue a saga and bleed it dry.
Yeah, Disney is the worst example of it for sure. I mean, just look at that Indiana Jones 5 trailer. It's just like the worst of everything they've been doing over the last decade.
I don't even know why we have to bring back Indiana Jones. I mean, Harrison Ford doesn't need to do anything really. He can retire and just live his life on a farm or on a ranch, just like retire from acting. I mean, so many people have done that already. Like, look at Jim Carrey. He's retired from acting. He's like, fuck it, I'm done. What? They keep on bringing Harrison Ford back and Clint Eastwood back. It's like, dude, really just stop. I mean, like Samuel Jackson doesn't need to do anything.
Can't let things die. We gotta just start letting things die.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was
laughing so hard during the marketing campaign for Rise of Skywalker Episode 9 when they were like the conclusion to a saga, and I was like, the conclusion to a saga that concluded 40 years ago. What are we doing?
Yes, it's only one true trilogy, and it's not your Lord of the Rings. I mean, it is the first 3 of these movies. I mean, honestly,
what's the line from Clerks 2? There's only one return. It's of the Jedi.
Yeah, not of the King. But oh god, So,
I'll give you. I'll
so
just
guys,
mention I watched the theatrical cuts, the what's known as the Harmy cut, and you watched the Disney Plus cut of this film.
yeah. What do you want to say about
And
that?
we're both
What was your?
old enough that I think I don't know about you, but like I saw the original cuts of the film because I had the VHS and stuff well before the special editions came out.
Mhm.
So I don't know like how big of a fan you were, but I loved Star Wars as a kid, and I watched the crap out of those VHS tapes.
I was more, I was more into the cartoonist side of things. Like I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan more so than just the Star Wars fan. Like I wasn't into Star Wars, but I wanted to be an astronaut, so to say, when I grew up. But that never worked. So, um, I would say like I was bigger Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan than a Star Wars fan for some reason. I think it was my household. I don't think my dad was into Star Wars much when he grew, when he was like a teenager or like not really a teenager, like in his 30s or 40s maybe when it came out. Um, but I don't know when did they came out? When did the movies come out again? 80s, right? Am I right? Am I
The
wrong?
Star Wars came out in '77, and Empire was '80, and Jedi was '83. They had 3 years between each one.
So 80. Yeah, so my dad was probably in his late 30s. Yeah, late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s. Yeah. So I don't think my dad was a big fan. Maybe he was, but like I don't think he. I know he didn't
My
have
parents
us
weren't
watch it.
either. I just remember I remember like as a little kid in Giant, and there was the movie rack there, and I saw this Star Wars thing, and I thought the cover looked cool, and I was like, "Mom, we get this?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, we get that." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And she's like, "There's two more of these." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? There's two more of these?"
Oh,
Awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing your mom saying that, like, because your mom was one of the nicest people I ever meet. So really good mom, really good upbringing for you and your brother. In that sense. Um, like that's awesome. Like I mean, I remember moments with my parents, and then I know like movie wise, I don't think they were into it. Like I mean, the last movie I think I saw with my parents in theater was Elf. I think we all went one Christmas and saw Elf. I
That
can
was a good
remember
one.
that.
The last one I saw with my family all together, I think, was Pearl Harbor.
Wow.
It was either Pearl Harbor or the Planet of the Apes remake, which were definitely not two movies to go out on together as a family, but because they both
well,
suck. But
Pearl Harbor has its own comedy relief when they get made fun of in Team America World Police. So that's another great movie that you need. You've seen it before, Nakattack. But
yeah,
if people haven't seen it, they need to go watch Team America World Police. It's hilarious. I don't know. That's my opinion. But go ahead, Nakattack.
uh, oh, okay. I guess start with a new point.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? We're having too much fun here talking about everything, and we're having a good conversation. I love it. So go ahead.
I just want to go with like what makes Empire so great, and it's just the script is so well done. It's a little unusual in that the inciting incident happens kind of deep into the first act, which I guess I would argue is when the Imperial probe droid gets destroyed. That kind of is the catalyst that kicks off the whole rest of the movie.
Definitely.
So it's a little unusual in script structure, but after that, everything's like very solid.
Yeah, and the moments that you see, Han being like that over, not zealous, but like overconfident machismo guy with Leia,
Cocky.
and it was funny. It was like they were like, and then they kissed, and then C-3PO comes in and interrupts them, and just like ruins the whole situation. Like it was gonna get serious, and then it doesn't because C-3PO comes in, and like RT-D2 is great. Like when when he had to get the security off the door and all that. It was definitely definitely funny conversation between him and C-3PO, even though
Yeah.
we didn't know what RTD
Oh, you're
was.
jumping way ahead in the Cloud City.
Yeah, I'm like all over the place because the movie was perfect, and Nakattack, like I mean, like we had the battle with the on the ice planet, like in the
Oh,
beginning there.
that sequence on Hoth with the
Yeah,
AT-ATs assaulting the Rebel base is fantastic. That still holds up very well.
yeah,
I
on
mean,
the
there's some things you can nitpick, like when they talk about how they can't get through that armor, but then when they trip the one and then shoot the top of it, how it blows up. I mean,
yeah.
you can nitpick that, but I mean, the thing was already down and disabled, so who cares? But I like too how the battle escalates, where they come up with that plan to trip them up because their weapons are useless, so they kind of use their brains to come up with another way to take these things out.
Yeah, and it works. And it was, I mean, the conversations between the pilots were fun too. Like it was like engage and then around the bot and then down it falls. And,
Right to
but
that tow cable.
yeah, gone, done. And then
And I also like too when even when Luke he crashes his thing, he still manages to find a way to take out one of those AT-ATs when he gets his Batman grappling hook up and then he throws that grenade in there.
yeah, and it worked. It worked, and it was it was something that you
And
didn't
that's
think
how
was
we
gonna happen.
establish Luke as being a bit of a badass and a good hero.
Badass risk taker. He definitely has those two titles, and then you got Loren. You got uh, Calrissian. I mean, he just
Were you
was like,
about to say Lorenzo Lamas?
yeah. No, I was saying I was like gonna say Lorenzo Calrissian, but it's what is it? Is it
Lando Calrissian.
what?
Lando.
You're cutting in and out for some reason. Jesus Christ, that stupid app. Go ahead.
It's Lando.
Lando, what Calrissian? I don't know why I was blanking on
A Lando
Lorenzo.
system. No, Lando's not a system. He's a person.
Yeah. Fucking just the just like the cockpit. It was like that was the cockpit early rendition of what Guardians tried to replicate, and then between them two, both have like if you take the
Oh,
cockpit
Guardians of the
conversations,
Galaxy is the best Star Wars movie since Empire for sure.
yeah. But what about Spaceballs? What about Spaceballs? What is your thoughts on Spaceballs, real quick?
Oh, I love Spaceballs. That's one I haven't seen in a while. I would love to rewatch Spaceballs, but yeah, I love Rick Moranis's giant Vader helmet thing, and the part where they were like, we need to put in a copy of the movie to see where they went, and then when they get up to the scene, like we're in the scene right now, and they keep looking back at the screen and then the camera.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, it brings me
Like,
to the
no,
point
you
where
went too far. You got to rewind a little bit.
you did what you did you mentioned in conversation you mentioned the whole the new History of the World Part 2 on Hulu, and I haven't watched it yet, but you said you had mixed feelings with it. How did you think what do you think about it?
Yeah, I caught. We'll just go from this a little bit. I caught half of the first episode. It was kind of late, so that's why I didn't finish it. It's not like I stopped because it was bad or anything. I just like you can see a little bit of that Mel Brooks magic in there, but it's also littered with a lot of the worst elements of modern sketch comedy. Like some of the stuff that's really annoying about SNL, like that's kind of in there, but there you can still see elements of that great Mel Brooks comedy in there. So I mean, maybe it gets better as it goes on. I mean, the pilot is very scattershot because if you remember the History of the World movie, like a lot of those segments stretched on for a while, whereas this one it's like one scene boom, one scene boom, one scene boom, and they're just going throughout different periods of time.
Okay.
The first sketch is actually pretty funny. With it takes place during the Civil War with Ulysses S. Grant, and he goes into a cabin and he's talking with Abe Lincoln, and Abe Lincoln keeps banging his head on stuff because he's so tall. That's pretty funny.
I guess I have to watch that. I just wanted to bring that up because we brought up Mel Brooks and Spaceballs. But back to Empire Strikes Back. You, I mean, honestly, you get like you mentioned, you get fulfilled with this movie. Like you're like, holy shit, this is you know, your mega point of where the movie, you know, makes it one of your favorites, and that's why you own the book with the uh all the pictures and whatnot, and the behind the scenes look that
I
they
mean,
brought
this
out.
incredible book with these amazing behind the scenes photos.
Yeah, yeah, he's showing it briefly. Like that's a selling point. If you guys want to go buy the book, go look for the book, find a copy. I don't know where you can find it. Probably find it on
I,
Amazon
I
or
haven't looked
somewhere.
at the price in a while, but I do know it is very expensive. This was a Christmas gift. It was like $80 when it first came out.
Wow.
I mean, it's hardcover. They're expensive, but if you love the film, it is very much worth it.
Well, okay. All right. All right. Not just saying that Barnes and Nobles might have it, or our local record store might own a copy of the book too. But I don't know. I haven't seen it. But
Yeah,
be on the
I'll
lookout,
be
guys.
honest with you. Like, if 10 years from now, if they released one about, I guess the Disney takeover, like I would love to be a fly on the wall with a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that happened with that.
You never know. I mean, these companies, these entertainment companies, I don't know what they're doing with how they're releasing stuff anymore. I really haven't looked into like Disney and
I
stuff
don't think
because
they know anymore
Disney.
either. I know a lot of them are kind of getting into panic mode because the streaming things are really not working out for a lot of them.
Well, they bought into so making movies themselves, and it's like, dude, like, why are we releasing movies like about all these things from the '90s that we already had? Like, I hear the new Scream is amazing, but it's like, dude, do you really need another one? I'm still gonna watch it,
We did
but
not, but I gotta say, I'm impressed by that trailer. That Scream 6 looks very fun, and they actually took the concept of Jason Takes Manhattan and looks like they're actually doing something with it.
you're
Whereas if
correct.
you ever see
There's a
Jason Takes Manhattan, it should have been called Jason Takes a Boat Ride because he doesn't get to New York to the last 5 minutes of the movie.
I never watched Jason Takes Manhattan, but now I don't have to. Thanks, Nakattack.
They took the absolute best concept for a Friday the 13th movie and they totally botched it.
You know, it was a great Jason movie, and we loved it because I think we both enjoyed it in theaters when we were younger. Jason X.
Jason X is very stupid, but it is very very fun,
Yeah, yeah,
and
because
I concur. That's a very good Jason movie.
It's Jason in space. It's Jason in space. Like, how did the fuck you get to space? Oh, you fucking unthought of me, dumbass. Way to go. Like, come on. And then everybody gets killed because they all sucked. Like they're all like dumb.
And much like Friday the 13th, as the sequels went on, Jason became less menacing, and so did Darth Vader, which was so great watching Empire to see Darth Vader as actually a menacing villain.
Dude, and James Earl Jones' voice of Darth Vader will always live in history. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, oh, I am your father. We all try to,
Dude,
you
spoilers.
know, we all tried, we all tried to imitate him doing it in a fan when growing up, and then like, um, Chewy is, to be able to meet like back in the day, my mom and I won tickets to um a Comic Con kind of thing, and we got to meet Lou Ferrigno, and we got to meet the guy who did Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, which was awesome. Um, and just to get that experience, like because I think Chewie was my favorite character growing up because it was just a furry animal and he was friendly and he helped these humans like he was like man's best friend. He was like a dog, kind of thing. Um, and just like the Ewoks were cool too because they were like cute little animals, and that a lot of people definitely hated because it ruined the aspect of it being
Actually, you
a
just reminded. I take
sci-fi.
it back. I think Return of the Jedi might have been the point where George Lucas was trying to kidify the series
Yeah,
a little more with those
yeah,
Ewoks.
yeah. Well, he started with bringing Yoda into this one. I mean, Yoda could have been like a menacing animal and not just this funny creature that walks around talking and bouncing it back and forth like he did. But okay, so we're good. I'm not gonna worry about that. It just freezes on OBS because OBS has been
Yeah,
having
but
problems.
Yoda has a purpose. He wasn't just there. Like he was there to showcase how powerful the Force can be. Like this very little thing is able to lift up an X-wing.
Yeah, yeah, and
It
it worked.
it was kind
And
of a twist on expectations. Like Luke, like if you go back the context, like when you first saw this, like you're expecting like Luke was to find this warrior, this great warrior, and then you find this little guy who's this master. It was just a twist of expectations.
definitely, and it worked out in the end. And Yoda became one of the most marketable characters all time. You know,
Oh, I
people
hate the
love
way you
him.
described that, but you're
What?
right.
Yeah, you hate how I described it, but I was right. I mean,
You're
look
just
at
showcasing
today.
how capitalism ruins everything.
Yeah, it does. It does to us no end. And I mean, this country is getting ruined or screwier and screwier
I
every
mean,
day. I mean, honestly, we're never gonna have.
George Lucas ruined Yoda with the prequels. I mean, especially in that second one when he's hopping around with that lightsaber screaming, and it's such a joke. Like even in this one, like it doesn't make any sense because what was it? Like Yoda warns Luke that the light side isn't about aggression and attacking and stuff, and that's why like the light side's more like a monk. You're just kind of like you're in balance with it. I'm trying to think like what it's like one of those martial arts where it's more defensive rather than aggressive.
Definitely, definitely,
Like, yeah,
definitely. Oh, wait,
you
you
can
went
use the force
frozen.
to defend yourself and be very successful, but as far as the light side goes, you're not there jumping around and attacking.
Definitely, definitely. Um, because you're being defensive. And I mean, honestly, look at the fight that he had with Vader in this one, where he lost his hand, but now he got a new hand in the end, and things are going to work out
Yeah.
for everybody
Well,
who's ever.
the character stuff going on between the Vader Luke fight in this is so great. Like especially when it starts out when Vader's he just has this lightsaber in one hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically just toying with Luke at that point.
He's like
He's
this.
like, you're not even worthy of me to hold this thing with two hands.
He's like, I got this one hand.
But then later on in the fight, he eventually does grasp his lightsaber with two hands. He's like, okay, Luke, you actually know some shit, so I'm gonna actually start taking this seriously. And that's when Vader really just starts kicking his ass.
Yeah, and then he falls and goes outside, which you thought, oh god, he's falling to his death. You know, it's over. The dark side wins. This is going
Speaking
to
of
be the
which,
last
I love
movie.
the cover photo on this where you can see the swords they were using without the effects in. That's so cool.
Okay, hold on. We keep on freezing, and you're freezing on. Okay, there you go. Go ahead. Show it up again. Show it up again. Sorry, I don't know. I'm having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I just wanted to show this photo that shows the swords they were using before the effects were put in.
Oh wow. There you go, guys.
It's very neat. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is pretty sick. So they were using real
And you can see
swords.
that that's a nice screenshot there. You can see like at that point Luke's desperate. He's like he knows he's probably about to lose this fight. So
Yeah, and then this in the end we all know what happens, but in this cliffhanger, I mean, honestly, you leave off with Lando and Chewie heading off to Tatooine, and Luke and Leia.
not necessarily. They didn't know what they were gonna do quite yet at that point. But we left off with Han separated from the group.
Yeah, Hans separated in carbonite. Um, he only got to first base with Leia. Thanks to
And
Sleep.
that's another reason this movie is so great. This is one of the few Star Wars movies that actually has that humanity with relationships and sexuality in it. Like the sequel trilogy totally ruined that. I mean, there were hints of it in episode 7 with Rey and Finn, but then they did nothing with it. Like, how come like Rey was never like a romantic thing for anybody? It was so weird.
I never watched any of the newer ones, so
You're not
I
missing
have.
much.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But people are
Although
loving the
I will say
Mandalorian.
the Last Jedi is kind of worth watching just to see how not to continue a franchise. That is a very baffling film.
Really, why is that, Nakattack? I said we're getting
Just some of the
Nakattack's true
decisions that
feelings about
Ryan
Star Wars.
Johnson made and that Disney made for that sequel were just very weird, and it almost killed the franchise. Actually, I will argue it probably did kill the franchise,
But people love the Mandalorian. Did that save it? Did it save it, or no? Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, Star Wars is doing it okay as TV, but again, they're falling back into the same crap. Like, how long did it take before Luke showed up, and then like all these classic characters showed up? Like, they can't just do their own thing.
That is
It's like,
true.
do something different.
They can't. But the cool thing is, we got Baby Yoda out of it. How do you feel about Baby Yoda, aka Grogu?
Yeah, he's not a character. He's just a toy.
Tip of the hat, wag of the finger to you, sir. Tip of the hat to you, sir, because you're making this episode great because I'm having you tell the world your cold hard truths and facts of love and disgruntlement of Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean,
because
I don't know what to add to the conversation. I mean, like, everything's been said to it. I mean, if everyone just wants to know my take, I mean, I'll gladly give it. But
well, there's nothing else to say because this movie was in essence it was a monumental success for the studio, for George Lucas to bring out the sixth one, and definitely years later somehow Disney decides, oh hey, we're gonna bring it back to life, and it took them years to bring it out, right? I mean, from 80 to for the next Star Wars movie to come out, it took them to like the mid 90s, correct?
yeah,
Or when did it come out? When did?
it was like 96 or 97 is when they released the special editions.
Well, no, like not that. Like Star Wars Episode 1. Like when did Episode 1 come out? Like that came out. When was it? Hold on.
1999. I'm telling you, dude.
When was it?
It was 1999.
1999. So that from 80. It took them 16 years. 16 years to release a new one. Why?
And that was what we got, and it's like, wow. The problem with the prequel trilogy is that Episode 1 was completely useless. I mean, like, Attack of the Clones should have been the first one in the trilogy.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we would have had another film to help develop Anakin's transition to the dark side.
Yeah. Okay. This is how
Episode 1 was basically pointless. It was basically like Episode 0, and then we had two movies that sort of told the story we were wanting to see as far as that character of Anakin.
Mm-hmm. And then we got 4, 5, and 6 before that, like in 78, 81, you know, and all that. So overall, I know we're done talking about it. We're done talking about the new ones, the old ones, old ones when we were in high school. Because I was 14, you were 15 when that new one came out, the first one, and then all the other two. But for you, Nakattack, does The Empire Strike Back still hold up to you for you? And what is your final rating for this movie on March 11th, 2013?
absolutely holds up. This is one of the all-time classics, not only of the sci-fi genre, not only of Star Wars, but of movies. Period. And if you can get in the mindset of what this movie was like, just knowing that Star Wars, the original Star Wars, was the only other movie, just the tonal shift and just the expansion of the world was so well done in this film. And just I mean, this was like peak Harrison Ford too, and he's so great as Han Solo, and Mark Hamill's crushing it as Luke Skywalker, and Carrie Fisher is doing very good as Princess Leia. It's very well acted,
I'll
and
tell you
Lawrence
that.
Kasdan did a very good job directing the film.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, Mark Hamill still killing it in 2013, 2020, yeah, 2013. 2023, Harrison
Yeah,
Ford still
Mark
doing his
Hamill
thing.
didn't have like the triple A career that Harrison Ford might have had, but Mark Hamill's been very busy ever since the Star Wars films, and he's been had a very interesting career doing voice acting and showing up in other like B movies and stuff. Like he was very good, man.
Yeah, he's the voice of Joker for the cartoon, you know? It's like, dude, like
Yeah,
Mark Hamill, Star Wars, you know?
the voice of Skips on my favorite comedy cartoon, Regular Show.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, honestly, look at that. And and just the characters in the movies have been able to live on through ages. I mean, honestly, it's been like 40 years since this movie. Has it been 40 years? Yeah, 40 years since this movie came
Yeah,
out. So,
and
what a
I'm
longevity
gonna.
of a movie.
I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I watched I watched the Harmy theatrical cut, and without all the added crap from the special editions or anything, like even like the original cut of the film holds up very well.
Nice.
Like you can
That's
say some
awesome.
of the effects are dated with the matte paintings and stuff, but the matte paintings look very well. They look better than the CG crap from the special editions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Disney cut, I mean, I was like watching on this big screen TV, and Disney does high def for the TV and all that, and it was really well. Like the lighting and the effects and the music was great. Um,
Oh, this is
so
arguably the best John Williams score too.
yeah, John Williams, man, just so many great stuff he's done, uh, in scores and movies, and just everybody had success, and now we're just like seeing how bad they like. I mean, not in my opinion, but in a lot of people's opinions, and I can agree with it, but
I
they
say the most frustrating thing with the Disney trilogy is they had no plan. I mean, it took them 5 years to make that first movie, and they had no plan for the sequels. It's like you can't you can't do that. Like you need to have a through line for your story, and I guess that's why the first few phases of the Marvel films work so well because they had an endpoint. They knew they were going to get to that Thanos thing.
mm,
Whereas with the sequel trilogy, they were like, I don't know, the big bad's dead in the second film. Bring the Emperor back for the last one. Who cares?
well, it's like what are they? I mean, like with Marvel, is there an end point? Is there a direction they do
Unfortunately,
truly want to
no.
take it?
Endgame should have been the end point, but now, I mean, just look at the shit they released in Phase Four. Like, it feels like there's no plan for these Marvel movies now. I mean, I know they're trying to lead up to Kang, but it doesn't feel like there's any plan for it.
So they're gonna lead up to Kang, but then after Kang, what? Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do the zombie film finally? Are they, you know?
At that point, they're gonna reboot. I will bet my entire retirement fund that they're gonna reboot after that Kang stuff.
What? Who are
We're
they?
gonna
I
have
mean, who are
started
they?
with
Who are?
Iron
Okay,
Man,
so
Captain America.
so are we gonna be alive for those reboots?
Of
I,
course.
you never know. I mean, honestly, you look at it this way: how are these movies gonna end? Are they gonna reboot it in
How soon do you think
2016?
it'll be before they reboot Harry Potter?
Well, they kind of already rebooted Harry Potter with Hogwarts Legacy, the video game.
No,
You
no, I'm
know?
talking about the movies.
I
Like,
know,
how
but
soon do you think it'll be before they reboot the films?
well, didn't they kind of do that with Fantastic Beasts?
Yes and no. That's one of the endless sequel machines where it's like, just end it. Just end it. We don't need more of this.
Damn, I mean, that is true. That is very true. I mean, I'm looking at movies that are just
I
like
mean,
Harry
look at
Potter
what
went
happened
on
with
for.
Ghostbusters. They've tried twice to like continue it, reboot it. Actually, 3 times if you count Ghostbusters 2. It's like, just end it. It was a product of its time. Like, just stop. Do
Well,
something
I'll
new.
tell you this. I tell you this. Ghostbusters Afterlife is pretty good.
Is it? It looks terrible based on the trailer.
Ugh. I'm going to tell you this though. I'm going to tell you the fact that yes, the people hated that they womanized Ghostbusters with the Melissa McCarthy version, but
That's the least of that movie's problems. That's not even a problem.
that is not even a problem. The whole thing is,
The terrible script was the problem with that one.
yeah. I mean, it it it. I what they should have done was, I don't know what they should have done, but I enjoyed the movie. I don't know what they should have done differently with that. That's another topic for another day. In my mind, would think about it for hours on end and tell you that what they should have done was write a better script and have a better plot hole and not just like have a random creepy dude that worked in a hotel unleash a ghost and all that and then become a ghost and then take control of uh, the one brother of many
Oh, dude, I'm falling
Thor.
asleep just hearing this plot synopsis.
You know, yeah, I don't know.
John,
So
sorry. What's your take on Empire? I know you're not like a mega Star Wars fan like I am, but
I'm not a mega fan, but I enjoyed it, and it was a 5 out of 5 because honestly, it had everything. It made you want more at the end. Even though the ending was kind of sour when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go separate ways, and then meet you on the planet," and and then do 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 do.
actually, something interesting. This amazing book right here actually goes into how
Promo
they had a plan
promo it.
to have the core cast separated at the end of the film. And I
Nakattack,
guess
make a
one of the
TikTok
original
video.
storylines was that Han
We'll
Solo
promote the
was gonna
book.
go meet his father
Uh huh.
to try and get help for the rebels, and that's
Yeah.
kind of where it was gonna go for part 3. But then things happened, and they ended up having to bringing Jabba back into it. So like, I
I'm
kind of
Jabba.
neat. There's some neat little tidbits in here about what some alternate story ideas they were having.
Nakattack, here's your goal for this weekend and into next weekend. Make a video you promoting the book, and we'll post it on TikTok. Do a little quick video. We'll post it on Instagram and Twitter and promote the book. And then let's see if anybody buys a copy of the book somewhere. Like I love the book. I mean, I just want you to promote it and like I don't know. I think it would be cool for that company who put out the book many years ago to get recognition from super fan like yourself. I'm not making jokes. I'm being serious. Like it would be cool. I think being that you can be creative in so little time of things, I think you can make something quick. I think it would be a fun project. I think it would be something cool. I don't know. Something dumb, I know. I'm sorry.
I hate shilling stuff, but this is probably the one thing I would chill for because it is so well done.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I love it. I'm sorry. um, so my final rating's 5 out of 5. Nag Attack, yours?
Oh, it's definitely 5 out of 5. I mean, I can watch Empire like just all the time. Like, I will never get tired watching Empire Strikes Back.
Uh, God, now I have to make another decision if I really want to do the movie I was gonna choose.
Oh,
Because
it's
it's
crunch
so
time,
hard
buddy.
for me, Nag Attack. The shit I watch is like it's not Oscar quality stuff like yours. I mean, honestly,
It doesn't matter, man. This is a treat for you.
uh,
The goal wasn't to find the best movie ever made. The goal was
all
to
right,
find one of the best movie
all
you
right,
enjoy watching.
all right. So, all right. We talked about a couple of the movies last time, which was South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, Old School. Um, and I was thinking of Accepted because that's a good movie. Uh, but it does come down to this.
I'm leaning in.
This is gonna be the worst movie of all time that you've watched. Probably you're like, why the hell are we watching
I'm
this?
leaning in.
What?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm leaning in. The
Well, okay,
suspense.
then it will be okay. So I'm gonna make it official. It is gonna be the Ryan Reynolds, Justin Long restaurant movie of the year in the movie Waiting.
I'm waiting. Okay.
Have you ever watched it?
Yeah, you gave me a copy of that way back in the day.
Yeah, didn't I? Didn't I get you? Yeah, I did get you a copy of that for your birthday or something or Christmas, right?
It might have just been just because you were like, "This is awesome. Here, watch it."
Yeah, okay. It might have been. Because you know what? I worked at fucking FYE back then. That was those days. Um,
I know a lot of people tell me Office Space is great for office workers, and if you've ever worked in a restaurant, Waiting is your movie. So
it is. It truly is. I know Donnie cracked up still after watching it last night. Uh, because I was thinking old school. I was thinking like uh like old school South Park. I was thinking those movies, and I was like, you know what? I think it would be fitting that we do Waiting because honestly, I forgot that I even gave you a copy. I know it's been years since this movie came out.
Waiting's kind of like is Waiting considered a cult hit? Because I know it kind of flew under the radar when it came out, but I know like people are still talking about it.
It is. I mean, and it's on Hulu, so you still have Hulu, right?
Yeah, I got that thing pretty much through Thanksgiving now, so
Oh wow, there you go. That's
well, I got
awesome.
that. We got that $2 a month deal, so
Thanksgiving is 8 months away, so let's put that to good use, guys. It is on that, and so that's what we're gonna be watching for our next episode, which will be happening on the 25th of March. So, guys, tune in
and
live on
John
the
and I will be
5th.
trying to score points during next week's episode with the bat wing and the goat and
Oh, you remember that? You remember that? You remember
how can you
that?
not remember
Oh my
that?
god. So you do remember the movie. Jesus Christ, Nakattack. Yes, the Batwing, the goat. Um, yeah, just
We'll get into that stuff, but just when they go to the explanation of that with the new guy, it's so great.
yeah. So you got with Luis. I mean, because it has Luis Guzman in, man, and Luis Guzman is a great character actor, and to have
He's the
him in
best
this
modern
movie,
day character actor for sure.
and you had Dane Cook as well in the movie, and you know, the hip MTV guy at the time, one of the hip MTV, leaving MTV kind of guys in Andy Milonakis is in it, and and just it's just a good movie. I mean, honestly, we'll talk
Very
about it
interesting
next.
cast for
Huh?
sure.
Yeah,
I'd
Steve
say a
Cox.
very
Yeah,
very
sorry.
interesting cast for sure.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. So, Knack Attack, go ahead real quick. Tell everybody can find you on the World Wide Web so they can go follow you on your socials and your website as well.
I'm on Twitter at Nakattack, I think it is,
Yes, it is.
and
Knack Attack.
I got my movie review blog, Cinematic Lounge. That's pretty much it. I
Damn
guess I'll
right.
have a TikTok soon promoting one of the greatest books ever created.
We're gonna do it. We're doing it. I made Knack Attack do a TikTok. We're old fogies. We're late 30s, guys. Jeez, we're just trying to get on by. Trying to have a fun time. Living on our own dimes. I don't know. I'm rhyming. I don't care. I don't care. I'm in a good mood. Because Zach Attack, love you, bro. We're actually we're gonna go play video games more. But I'm gonna go hang out with the wife. I'm gonna go pass out too, probably. Because I have to take the dog to get.
I gotta say, my collecting these PS3 games lately, I gotta say the PS3 is definitely the golden age of first-person shooters. There's
Okay.
just so many awesome shooter titles.
What are you playing besides Destiny, of course?
Um, I'm still plowing through Wolfenstein: The New Order, but we just started BioShock.
Oh, a 2K game, Bioshock Infinite,
Yeah. And
Bioshock.
I have the Ultimate Rapture edition of BioShock 1 and 2, so it comes with all the DLC, and I also have the complete version of BioShock Infinite, which also has all the DLC. So I got the entire BioShocks, and I'm looking forward to going through it all.
I'm kind of working on the darkness. I started a game last night called The Pedestrian, which is like a weird little game. You guys can see gameplay of that on my Twitch from last
It's about
night.
crossing the
And
street safely.
no, it's not. It's not even that. Like it's like a puzzle game. Like you're a little stick figure, and you try to connect the pieces so you can go through the doors. And like I don't know, it's
I haven't seen this, but I'm picturing in my head a very cool art style. I want to check that out now.
well, I will show you. I will show you sometime on stream, maybe at a later date and time. But guys, we're gonna raid out here live on Twitch. We're gonna head over to our boy Brent, and he's actually chilling out, playing some baseball. We're gearing up for MLB The Show 23, which comes out at the end of the month, guys. So, guys, we love you all. Nakattack, love you, bro. Thank you for everything. And you have a great weekend, my friend. We'll talk soon. We'll head over to Brenton. Everybody go follow him. If you have not, go follow Nakattack as well. He may go live one day or another.